Look, I want you to stop for a second. If you've been spending the last 6 months perfecting your prompts, stacking up AI certifications, and polishing every single bullet point on your resume, yet your inbox is nothing but a graveyard of automated rejection emails, I want you to know something. It's not you, and it's not because you aren't good enough. I've been in this industry for 15 years. I've seen the booms, the busts, and the complete resets. And what we're seeing right now in 2026 is a reset unlike anything else. You're likely caught in what I call the execution trap. You're doing everything right by the old rules, but the game has changed beneath your feet. Let's look at the reality for a moment. Did you know that 99% of Fortune 500 companies are now using advanced AI algorithms to filter out 75% of candidates before a human even sees a name? That's 75% of people, talented, hard-working people who never even get a chance to explain why they're right for the job. And for those seeking elite six-figure roles, the average search has stretched to 26 weeks. That's half a year of silence, ghosting, and thanks but no thanks emails. According to recent data, 67% of all job applications are now ghosted. No feedback, no follow-up, just a digital void. If you feel like you're shouting into a hurricane, it's because you are. You're fighting a system designed to keep you out. So if the systems are designed to ghost you even when you have the skills, what is the hidden logic they're actually looking for? Because there is a group of people getting through, and they aren't the ones with the most certifications. Here's the part that most people miss, and honestly, it's the part that changed how I think about hiring entirely. We've reached a point where knowing AI is no longer a skill. It's a commodity. It's the new knowing how to use Microsoft Word. By the end of last year, 83% of global enterprises had fully integrated AI-only screening. But here's the twist. Recruiters are now reporting a trust deficit. Because everyone is using AI to write their resumes, every candidate looks perfect on paper. When everyone is perfect, nobody is trustworthy. And then there's the darker side of the market, ghost jobs. Current reports show that about 22% of active job postings have no immediate intent to hire. They're there to collect data or project growth that isn't real. You're applying for ghosts while fighting machines. The market doesn't care that you know how to use ChatGPT or Claude anymore. It doesn't care about your prompt engineering certificate. What it cares about is whether you can manage the digital workforce that is replacing the very roles you're applying for. Think about it. Why would a company hire a worker when they can hire an architect who builds the system that does the work? Companies are looking for people who can own the liability of the output. They don't want users, they want owners. Let that sink in for a second. If knowing AI is now the bare minimum, how are the top 5% of earners positioning themselves to command $400,000 salaries in this environment? They aren't applying more, they're positioning differently. I've seen this play out with a few of my colleagues recently, and the results are almost hard to believe. They've stopped being applicants and started being what I call sovereign architects. Take a mid-level product manager I know. She was struggling, hitting that 26-week wall. She pivoted. She stopped talking about managing teams and started talking about AI integration, specifically how she could identify where LLMs could reduce the cost per task by 80%. She wasn't just a PM anymore. She was a bridge professional. She bypassed the standard portals, went straight to the leadership, and commanded a $340,000 base salary. These bridge professionals, the ones who connect AI capability to actual business ROI, are seeing a hiring velocity that is 2.5 times faster than traditional software engineers. Why? Because they solve the one thing keeping CEOs up at night: how to actually make money with this technology without breaking the company. I saw a marketing director do the same thing. He launched what he called an agentic marketing lab within his firm. He showed them how to replace a 10-person agency with a custom autonomous system he designed and supervised. He didn't lose his job. He was promoted to VP of AI transformation with a $500,000 total compensation package. While 97% of applicants are fighting for scraps in online portals, this small group of sovereign leaders are seeing a 40% interview rate by changing just one thing in their narrative. They stopped proving they can work harder than an AI and started proving they are the ones directing it. Here's where it gets really interesting. In 2026, the human is no longer the tool. The human is the commander who stands behind the product the AI factory ships. We know that AI is handling about 90% of technical execution now. But that last 10%, that's what we call the hallucination gap. And in a high-stakes business environment, that 10% gap is where millions of dollars are lost or won. That's where the high-paid human liability verification comes in. The data from the PwC Global AI Jobs Barometer shows that AI-skilled professionals are commanding a 56% wage premium. But the truly elite roles, the ones offering total compensation up to $900,000, aren't for the people doing the work. They're for the people who manage the high-stakes integration. You see, the more the AI does, the more valuable the human check becomes. If a machine produces 1,000 lines of code in a second, the person who can guarantee that those 1,000 lines won't crash the server becomes the most important person in the room. It's a shift from task execution to outcome fee orchestration. You aren't being paid for your time anymore. You're being paid for your judgment. You're being paid to stand behind the result and say, I own this. That is the $400,000 secret. It's the willingness to be the sovereign over the machine's output. So how do you actually start walking this path this week? If you're sitting there feeling stuck, I want you to take 3 concrete actions. No fluff, just the roadmap I'd give you if we were having coffee right now. First, rebrand from user to architect. Look at your LinkedIn right now. If it says you're proficient in ChatGPT, delete it. Instead, focus on agentic workflows and ROI. Change your headline to reflect the business problems you solve using AI systems, not just the tools you use. You aren't a writer, you're a content systems architect. You aren't a coder, you're an AI solutions orchestrator. Second, build an evidence-based portfolio. In a world of perfect AI resumes, proof is the only currency. Don't tell them you can use AI, show them a system you built that saved time or generated revenue. Record a 3-minute video walking through an agentic workflow you designed. That carries more weight than 10 certifications. And third, adopt the sovereign mindset. When you interview, stop asking, what will my tasks be? Start asking, what are the outcomes this role is liable for, and how can I build the systems to guarantee them? The market value has shifted from builders to orchestrators who can connect the dots between raw AI power and sustainable business profit. Point 7. Human-only strategic intuition. Stop trying to prove you can work harder than an AI. Start proving you are the only person capable of directing it toward revenue. The gatekeepers are already using AI to find you. It's time to give them the sovereign architect they're actually looking for. I know it's a lot, but you've got this. The map has changed, but the destination is still there. Let's get to work.